To the November 7th, 2019 Town Board meeting. I'm going to call up Mr. Alex Ramos to do the Pledge of Allegiance. You know where to go? Okay, let's go. Everybody stand. And then after he's done, we'll have a moment of silence. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Ramos, we'll go over to Desiree, and she's going to swear you in.
I, Alex Ramos, promise to perform the duties of Junior Deputy Supervisor
That's okay. For the month of
for the month of
November 2019,
November 2019,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Well, around 2 years ago, while walking through the town, I came across the Ramos family in Harriman. And his younger brother here came up to me and he says, I want to know all about this politics and everything, and what you do and how you're going to be. And I said, well, I'm going to be the supervisor, and I'll tell you what, if I win, you can be my junior deputy supervisor. And when I did win, he reminded me at Trunk or Treat that I was going to make him the junior deputy supervisor. And so he became our very, very first junior deputy supervisor. And following in his brother's footsteps is Alex. I see Alex all the time on Facebook, with his brother. I think he is a great member of our community. He enjoys our parks. I see him doing community things, and I'm very, very honored to give you this award. So, this certificate of acknowledgement is to acknowledge Alex Ramos, who has been bestowed the title of Junior Deputy Supervisor for November 2019, signed Frank Palermo, Supervisor. Congratulations. I expect you to outdo your brother. It'll be tough, but you can do it. Face the camera. Wave the camera.
This way.
This camera.
That camera. You're in TV now.
Okay. And now you're gonna look at mom. You're gonna hold this, and we're gonna take a picture. This is your, like, you know. Got it? Okay. Thank you. Okay. We have a public hearing this evening for the 2020 budget. Desiree, please.
A public hearing is being held to entertain public comments on the preliminary budget for fiscal year 2020. Public notice was printed in the Times Herald Record on October 30th, 2019, and showed the salaries of elected officials to be proposed as follows. Supervisor, $55,678. Town clerk, $67,075. Justices, $32,926 each. Town council, $10,481 each. And tax collector, $17,272. In addition, the following amendments have been made to the preliminary budget by the budget officer after it was received by the town clerk on October 24th. These are all for the library fund. The fund balance was $80,000. It is now $65,000 that's being used. Account code L 7410.200 equipment was $9,000. It is now $7,000. L 7410.428, children's programs was $10,000, now it's $6,000. L 7410.429, special programs was $10,000 and is now $6,000. L 7410.430, transportation and travel was $1,000, now it's $500. L 7410.435, books was $35,000, now it's $32,000. And L 7410.437, AV equipment and videos was $12,500, now it's $11,000. None of these changes affected the final tax levy.
Thank you. All right, the way we're going to do this tonight is when you get up to ask any questions, I would ask that you name the fund that you're asking the question. That fund is the first letter on the lines that you're going to be discussing. The A fund, the B fund, the L fund, SMB. Everything else basically is the, our, debt, thank you, is the debt, so that really, we have no control over that, that's what we have to fix, so. I'm gonna go row by row, and if you have a question, please go up. Yes, we did have, Desiree wants to make an announcement.
We did receive written comments for Robin Kraus, who could not be present this evening, with regards to the library budget.
Thank you. And it'll be entered into the minutes. So we're gonna go row by row. Your name, state your name and where you live, and we'll go from there. Anybody in row 1? 2, 3. Sandra? And please, all comments need to be only directed at the budget. Okay, we'll get to talk about anything else after, but for this, it's only the budget.
Okay, I noticed from the tentative to the preliminary, line A 1220.100, the supervisor's personal services, it increased 3,000 from the tentative to the preliminary.
Just what page are we looking at, please?
Oh, I prefer white page, hold on.
Is it expenditure or revenue?
It's an expenditure.
It's on the first page of the general fund expenditures.
Okay. Page 3.
Page 3, yeah.
Okay, and the line is,
A 1220.100. Supervisors.
got it. The question is, why did we go up 3,000 from?
Right,
one
from
to
the tentative to the preliminary.
Hi, thank you for your question. I recalculated after the Ipsy contract, everybody's payroll per department, and there was a need to increase that. We did per person by their hours. We've had, we had to go from 17, 18 to 19, so I felt it was short when I did the recalculation from the tentative to the preliminary, by person, by name, for that department.
Okay. Okay, again, I didn't do it by page, I just did it by line. So if you can't answer.
No, just give me the number and we'll find it.
Okay, at the A fund meeting, there was discussion about the electricity lines that were being
Correct.
taken out of certain departments. So which departments are being combined now?
It's the building department and the parks.
Okay, because I didn't see anything for animal control and senior center.
No, we've always had a question between whose electricity was being used at the park,
Right.
between the pump station and the lights and all this. So what we did was we combined them and split them in half. Pretty
Okay,
much that's what we've done.
where's animal control and the senior center? Because it was in the past budgets, but it's not.
So electric for A fund, some adjustments were made. We have building and grounds, animal control officer, parks, and senior center. There's a certain amount of money allocated for the 1620.402. The animal control was 3510. Parks is 7110.402, and senior center is 7620.402. We have certain amounts of money, so that went to the electric for the A fund. It came to 69,000, plus another 1,000. We have the current building. We have a small percent of increase, and that came to, it should be 82,000. I'll need to look at my notes.
Okay, yeah, I had projected, or that's what it said, projected 82,000, but I didn't see anything in the preliminary on some of those lines, that's why I was wondering.
So they were moved from, for example, animal control.
Right.
Or from parks into the one fund, into the one line number. Let me just look. Should have
Buildings and
82,000. Pardon?
The buildings and grounds
Yeah,
line,
let
okay.
me just confirm. It should say 82,000.
So that's what I mean, the animal control parks, senior center are all gonna be in buildings and grounds.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
that's
78,000.
correct.
1620.402, buildings and grounds, electricity. It says 78.
78,000.
So I just wanna summarize because there was a little confusion, so buildings and grounds, parks, ACO and Senate Senior Center are all now 1620.402. Thank you.
So again, my question is, in doing that, how are you gonna be able to tell if there's a problem at one of the buildings, say with the electricity, that they were using a lot of electricity?
Well, when we get the vouchers and the electric bills in, we know where it's coming from and where it's going. And then we just deduct it from this line. We do know where it's coming from.
All right. There was also discussion for Earl Reservoir Dam, A 1620.419. I know you had it at 10, you raised it to 15.
Correct.
Since there really didn't seem to be too much of an exact science on what that number could or will be, when do you think you'll have that number? And if it does have to be increased by that amount, where will that come from?
It would come from our fund balance.
A fund.
Yes. Well, yeah.
All right, I know there's been a lot of discussion over the library, and what Desiree just said, I'm just trying to figure that out on this first page. On the tentative budget, it said that, for the library, that it was 15,000. On the preliminary, it said 80. Are you now saying that the 80 is 65? Or are you
Correct.
saying, so the 80 is now 65? So then that would change the tax levy.
No. They've cut services.
Sandy, it's over here on the extra page. It shows you the reductions in the expenditures that match that.
The library board met today, and they made cuts in their services to equal the levy.
This one.
And then, my last question, and Maria, no disrespect to you, I'm just questioning it because we couldn't question it at the meeting. The beautification lease, budget, you said that was for 3 electronic signs?
What line item are you looking at?
We're talking about the line where you're gonna put in the signs.
A 8510.445. A 8510.445.
It's on,
Maria, you want
page
the
8,
answer?
I'm just trying to see what.
from the A fund.
Beautification lease?
Yep.
Yeah,
You reduced it by 40,000.
Right, but I'm questioning, they said that the 35,000 this year was going to be for 3 electronic signs, one at the library, I believe, at Rushmore Library, one at the animal shelter, and one at the res. I guess I'm
I
questioning.
don't recall one being at the res, no.
Oh, I thought that, cause I
No.
talked to 2 other people that were there, and that's what.
No,
Okay,
we,
where are they?
from what I know, is we were gonna do something at the dog, animal shelter,
Okay,
and one was gonna go in front of the library.
so it's only 2 signs?
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah, I
can't
got it.
stand up, go ahead.
That's right, I got it. So the beautification is doing more than just that, but this year's budget, we're doing a wooden sign or something like that at the animal shelter that will have spotlights shining on it, so it won't be an electronic sign. We were asked by the Parks Department, I don't know if the commission was part of that, because I know that's always action, to put a new sign at the entrance to the reservoir that is similar to the one that's at the Mary Harriman Park. That is a nice sign that welcomes that. And we've been in, and by we I mean beautification committee, been in talks with the library board with regards to putting a digital electronic sign at the at the Highland Mills Library that will announce all of their events in a rotating, like similar to what the fire company just put up earlier this year. We also need to purchase 2 new welcome signs, which is what this money's for next year. There's a one on the north end of town is really not in excellent condition, and the growth adjacent to it has overgrown. So we need to move it and put it in a clearer section. And the one on the south side of town is hidden by a guardrail now. Plus, once the construction's over, we'd have to rework Buena Vista Circle, plot that's there. So that's what all that $35,000 is for.
Okay, but.
Plus any upcoming, anything that comes up. There may be some work at the police department being done that we have to do, and, whatnot. Is
So
that-
it's not specifically just for the song.
Right,
Okay.
in the annual report that we submitted to the town board in August, it told the town board what the beautification plans to do in the upcoming year.
Okay. My biggest fear, because I don't like the way they look, that's why I thought that it was said at the meeting that they were electronic signs at the res and the animal shelter. But you're saying that it's just those signs with the lights.
Right, the one at the
Shine light.
reservoir will not have its own spotlight, because there's already a light on the pole
Right.
there, and really at night, you don't really need to see a sign to the reservoir, because it's not used after dark. But the animal control, because of where it is, when you go up Stunning Monk, you don't know it's an animal control, because there's no sign there.
Right.
So we're gonna do not an electronic sign, but one that has spotlights, and it's actually the spotlights that used to be at the old police station sign, so we're reusing that.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else in row 3? Row 4. Back row? No, John, you're in row 4.
We can say anything about the budget, is that correct?
As long as it's about the budget.
I'd like to commend you for the work you did on the budget. I think every department was treated fairly and made a contribution to the tax levy, which affects all of the people who live here in Woodbury. And that's the way it should be made, without showing any favoritism or arguing about this, that, and so forth like that. So again, I'd like to commend you on how the budget came out.
Thank you. Anybody in the last row? Okay. So with that, I'm gonna ask for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
hearing.
I need a motion to adopt the budget as presented this evening.
I will motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
You do your roll call for that?
Yes, you do.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilman Essex?
Yes.
Supervisor Palermo?
Yes.
Councilman Hunter?
Yes.
And Councilman Rowland absent.
All right. That was all right. Now, let's go to public input, which means you can talk about anything. including the budget, even though it's closed, but you can make comments on it, so. Anybody in the first row? In the second? In the third row?
Yes.
And you gotta sit on the outside.
Well, when I sat down, nobody was sitting. If I can look up fire alarms, let's see. Sandy Friglano, Central Valley. On the abstract.
Okay, hold on, let me just get it. Okay,
Okay, for Mr. Fusco.
do you happen to know what page it's on?
It is page 9.
Okay,
The voucher 201-91827.
for 9,500, I assume?
Yes.
And you're not talking about the 72?
Not the
Okay.
9,500.
Just making sure.
It says that it's for the John Burke Memorial Pool.
Correct.
Is that the new, some of the new design?
No,
or
he
that's
had
old?
he had to put all together, the bids, which that included the bids that were gonna go out. It included the, he had to do an update on it, you know, because as we were going on, he had to put more stuff into the bid. It includes all the maps that were given. I think Desiree, you have them down in your office, as well as one up in my office. So it included the whole process of putting the entire bid together, yes.
Okay. Wasn't Mr. Petriccioni also paid for doing that? I thought
No,
that was
he
part of
doesn't
his
do the bids,
contract.
no. He does not do the bids.
I thought that was in his contract. All right, and then. On page 4,
Give me 1 second. Okay,
under Catania,
okay.
voucher 201-91805,
Are we talking about the 8,200 or the 594?
the 825791.
Okay.
There was no file or explanation for that one.
It's probably been cut off. If you want, what I will do is, I will be away for a little bit, but I will have them look into it and get back to it. 'Cause I don't know what it is, you know, if it's not written here, I don't know.
Okay. And then the last item I wanted to ask about was the contract for Hudson Valley Wildlife Nuisance Control.
Wildlife room?
Wildlife Nuisance Control, the beavers.
The beavers.
Right.
Okay.
I noticed this was a different person than you used the last time.
Correct.
Was there a problem with the other person, or?
No, this one was a lot less money.
Okay. All right, and then on the permit itself, it looks like, and I don't know if that is just because of the way the permit is written, but it looks like the beavers can be killed.
That comes from the DEC. So how it's written, to be honest with you, that comes specifically straight from the DEC. So if that's what it calls for, you know, I know that you cannot relocate a nuisance animal, put it into another area. That is the state law. You cannot take a beaver from Woodbury and say plant them in Cornwall, because it will just do the same destruction over in Cornwall.
But if that's what a beaver does,
It destroys the property, is
well,
what
I
the
mean,
beaver
it builds
does.
dams, that's its nature.
I
So
understand that.
how can it,
I don't make the laws. If you want, you can get in touch with the DEC and you can talk to them about it. That's in New York State law.
so then, okay, I understand this is near Park Avenue, where exactly?
Oh, I don't know exactly where it is,
Well, I
but
mean-
it's, you go past the last few houses
Okay,
and they've built several dams there.
okay.
And the last time they built a couple of dams there, we had flooding, the people who live on Park Avenue, and it went as far as going to where the police department is. And, we had a lot of problems, correct, Lieutenant?
Yeah, we get flooded all the time downstairs during bad rainstorms, because when our water runs out the back, the way it's pitched, it goes behind the police station but has nowhere to go because the water table's so high. So it ends up flowing back into the downstairs of the police department.
Yeah, so we do need to get, it caused us a lot of problems a few years
I
back.
understand that, but if these are gonna be trapped in a way that they may be killed, so those traps are kind of dangerous, is there any, public notice to anyone that might?
To be honest with you, I don't know how they trap them, when they get them, all I see is them holding it up in the air. So, you know, I'm not an expert in that, that's why
No,
we
but
have
it might be a good idea, I mean.
It is a good idea.
No,
It is a
no.
good idea to post that
To post.
there are traps in the area,
Yeah,
to be
because
careful,
with
you're
kids
right.
running through there, you
Yeah,
never know.
no, I understand that, and, we will send that message out to them.
Okay, and the 350 is per beaver. I know on previous contracts, there was also a contractual amount that had to be paid at the time. I think under, it might have been Supervisor Suss, it might have been Supervisor Brooke, I don't remember, but it was like a $600 fee and then $125 per beaver. Is this
No,
inclusive of everything?
This is, yeah, whatever, yeah,
Everything
and I
we-
think, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby's not here, but I think they were gonna go in and take the dam down.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Sarah, is that you? I can't see who's holding their hand. Okay, Angie, you're up.
Turn your mic on.
Good evening, board members.
Turn your mic on.
It's gotta go on a green light.
Good evening, board members and community members. My name is Angela McCown-Cooper. I'm a Woodbury Public Library trustee and a member of the Finance Committee. It has become apparent there are widespread misconceptions regarding the WPL fund balance amount, dispensation, and general knowledge of the library's oversight. The Woodbury Public Library is under the auspices of the New York State Department of Education and must abide by its laws and regulations. As such, according to the laws of New York, consolidated laws, education, University of New York, libraries, section 255, establishment of a public library, paragraph E, and I quote, "The Board of Trustees shall manage and control such cooperative library system and shall have all the powers of trustees of other educational institutions in the university defined in this chapter. The funds of the cooperative library system shall be deposited in a bank or banks designated by the Board of Trustees and shall be expended only under the direction of such trustees upon properly authenticated vouchers," end quote. The library fund balance, overseen by the library board, is funded by the balance left in the library budget at the end of the fiscal year. By New York State educational law, those funds may be accumulated over a period of time to be used specifically for additional educational library projects, programs, building projects to enhance the physical use of the library within the district, meet mandates, and most recently to complete the 2020 project, which libraries must implement by the end of the year 2020. This implementation has been ongoing at the WPL for approximately 5 years, including the recent renovation of the Ida Cornell branch in Central Valley with the addition of ADA compliant lift and updated ADA restrooms, and complete interior painting and updated space allotment with the expansion of the children's and young adult areas. Prior to the renovation, the Cornell Library was provided a new roof and windows replacement derived from the WPL fund balance. The WPL was asked to contribute $15,000 from the fund balance to the 2019 town budget, being told it wasn't mandatory but necessary and that other departments were contributing. This year, initially, the same monetary request was made for $15,000 and was board approved early on.
During future budget preparations, the WPL director was informed the tax levy had been lowered and the expected amount of contribution from the fund balance was now $80,000. The alternative to contributing that amount would be a drastically decreased library budget, reduced by $80,000. After careful consideration and deliberation, the Woodbury Public Library Board of Trustees respectfully declined to contribute $80,000. Considering the costs of the numerous 2020 mandates and the accompanying penalties for non-implementation, the inability to fundraise or replace the lost revenue to the fund balance, upcoming expenses for restoration, renovation, future educational programs, upgrading technology, community outreach, formation of new programs for non-English speakers, etc., loss of the funding would be devastating to the future existence of the library should we lose our state charter due to non-compliance. The New York State Education Department clearly indicates the use and distribution of this fund. It is to be used to sustain and support library and educational projects above and beyond what is allowed in the operating budget. Be assured, each library board, past and present, has followed those stipulations. As the smallest department, with the ever-escalating requests for contributions to the town budget, the fund will be depleted and the library will not be able to improve or sustain its programs and conveniences to the public. Thank you for your time and consideration. We ask that you continue to visit, use and enjoy both libraries, and to join us in making the oncoming year one of community involvement and success.
Can I ask you a few questions?
You may.
Okay, number one. Has your board submitted anything to the town, this program for the 2020 of expenditures?
Sarah is here, and I'm not familiar with any indication that we have had to do that in the past. As I stated in the letter, there are numerous projects and mandates that we are responsible for, but I was not aware that it was required
Well,
to submit that from that fund balance.
well, here's,
But, one moment please, but Sarah may address that with knowledge of forethought.
okay, what I'm trying to say is, you cannot keep money in a fund balance as a savings account and use as you wish to use. There is a 2% cap in the state of New York. What you are actually doing is circumventing that cap. You have to submit in your budget what you expect to spend for the fiscal year 2020. Sarah or anybody else from the library board has not submitted one nickel that needs to be spent. It's gotta be specific. You cannot use that money as you wish. There is a fund balance, first of all, that the state, RCL, says that you have to have 6 months. You're allowed to have 6 months of your budget in a fund balance. That would bring you to $360-some-odd thousand. You have $467,000 in there. And I asked Eileen this afternoon to do a run-through of your budget of 2019 and what you expect to have for next year. At the end of this year, not taking that $80,000 out and using some of the money you're gonna have for this year, which is what you did, the $65,000, you are going to have an estimated $545,000 in a fund balance. Now, you have to be, I'm trying to say this the right way, responsible to the taxpayer. If you're only supposed to have $367,000, you got close to $200,000 extra to cut programs such as the children's program and the adult program and not add the money from that fund balance. You would prefer to cut programs is totally irresponsible as far as I'm concerned and the town board is concerned. You cannot just, this is not one-on-one banking or accounting. This is government accounting. You cannot overestimate so you can build up these funds. It's illegal. And to circumvent the cap is also illegal. And I am the chief fiscal officer. And what I did was the proper thing to do. You had almost 70 to 75% cap in there. And I brought it down, not even, I even let it higher than the 50%. And I took that down because that was the right thing to do for the taxpayers of the town of Woodbury. And all I got was grief from your board. In a letter from Dot Morris, which was completely wrong, okay? All I did was the responsible thing to the taxpayer. And to have this kind of money sitting in an account, doing nothing right now, and not projected for a particular use is wrong. If you came to me, or Sarah came to me and said, Frank, we've got the 2020, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to spend, I would have said, that's fine, that's what you need to do, because I can't touch your budget. I cannot lower your budget. I cannot touch your fund. But what this board can do is lower what we feel should be the tax levy. The tax levy is the money that the people in this town pay in taxes. And what we felt was, if we lowered the levy to a reasonable amount, we really felt that you would, as a board, contribute like everybody else did. I mean, you look at the fund balances, give me just 1 second. The A fund, $675,000 is going from their fund into the budget. The B fund, $1,145,000 is helping to lower the taxes. You have the L fund, which we talked about, we made it at $80,000. You have the garbage fund, refuse, $20,000. The sewer, $20,000. Sewer water, special water district, $40,000. For a total of $1,980,000. Now, someone would say, are you crazy taking this money out? We've got the money. We're way over in our fund balances. And the responsible thing to do, it's not your money, it's not my money, it is the taxpayers' money. And you give it back to them. Because if you don't give it back, you're raising taxes when you've got the money to cover it. And it's just not right. That's called doing a budget the proper way. You can't, it is not a savings account. And when I look at the numbers that you put in this year's budget, you have an increase of $44,000 in payroll. At the end of this year, you could have an extra $24,000. Why are we increasing it $44,000? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can't just balloon numbers and sock that money away. If you're over and there's only 50, and you're allowed only 50%, which is what RCL tells us, you gotta keep 6 months in there to keep your charter, then you should not have 75, 80, 90% in there. I'm sorry. That's how this board feels. And that is why we did what we did. And I've gotta be honest with you, we've accepted your budget. We're not gonna do anything, we're not gonna change it, but I am very disappointed and I'm very upset that you would cut children's and adults programs so that you can keep the money in the bank account. That's, you got up to say what you had to say, now I had to say what I had to say. I understand what you're saying, 100%, but I think the public needs to know what's going on.
Well, we as the library board have our beliefs about what the public needs to know also. And you happen to be a past or perhaps you are a recent public liaison to the library. And you have pledged your support to us publicly on numerous occasions.
And I do support you, 100%.
You you're accusing us of sandbagging money and attempting to rob or keep the money for our purposes, which is to sit there. Nothing could be farther from the truth. But knowing your relationship, your past relationship with the library board and the library board president, we would have expected for this kind of a deep contribution to a limited fund. When that fund is depleted, it's gone.
But I don't think you're anywhere near depleting it. You are at 50%. If you can't, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? Because I've got to control the town's budget. If you can't operate with 50% sitting on the sidelines, then there's something wrong with your library system.
But at no time did you come to us and ask Sarah or anyone of the board where that fund was going to go in the future. We don't have exact figures, but we do know that there are projects that we have to complete. And the 2020 project is an expensive project, and it's been ongoing, and if we don't complete it and come into compliance, we will be responsible for fines at the end of 2020. And, pardon, this is not the time nor the place to debate, but I heartily resent you attempting to demonize the board.
But you gotta understand something here, okay? When you wanted to do the projects down at the Cornell Library, you came in with those numbers. You told me what they were. I was a supervisor, I don't know if the council, I'm pretty sure I was a supervisor at that time. And you gave me the numbers. I had no problems with it, we put it in the budget, that's how it's done. I've spoken with Sarah on many occasions on this, okay? You have to come to us with what you intend to spend. It's even if you made up a number, you said, listen, we think it might be $250,000, okay, but put it in the budget. I want to do the police parking lot. I got no idea what it's going to cost. I really don't. We asked for an estimate, so I put $300,000 in the budget. I put it in because I expect to spend something on that thing, and I have to show it. It's the law. You have to show it. Now, I've spoken with Sarah, but not one person from the library board was at any of our meetings. We had meetings. Was there anybody there when me and Lorelei met? No. Was there anybody from the library board when we had our public meeting here? Okay, it's not.
I can't speak to that.
No, I know, but
I
the
can't.
point is that there was no one here.
Well,
Okay,
the
and when
point
I
is-
sat down and spoke with Sarah, even from Sarah, she told me that they're allowed to have between 25 to 50%, is that correct?
That's what's recommended.
Okay, so when she came in to see me, I said, you know, Sarah, you told me that the recommendation is 25 to 50. I said, you're at 70. I want to bring it down to 50. She understood what I was trying to say to her. You can't keep that kind of amount, especially if you're under the auspices of a school system. What happened to the Monroe Woodbury school system when they found out how much money they had in their coffers? They got hit with fines. You're under certain regulations. This is a government. This isn't a business, it's a government.
That's correct.
And we need to follow specific things with our budget. And I've tried to explain it, and I tried to make it clear. You cannot, it's out of control. My honest opinion, it's out of control. If you said to me, you know what, Frank, by the end of the year 2020, we may need $500,000, all right, but no one said anything. No, you don't even know how much it's gonna cost. So how can you keep that kind of money in there if you have no idea? If the controller comes down and takes a look at this, he's gonna say, what the hell are you doing? What are you guys doing? What do you have, 70-80% sitting in a bank, and you have no formal plan in front of you? I gotta have a plan. You've been doing this for 5 years now. You should have some form of a plan on what is going to do. And if you
To a
don't,
certain extent, we do, but you're refusing in your tirade, you are refusing to accept the fact that we also have certain specifications that we have to meet. Some of them are unknown. We cordially invite you to come to the library and sit down and discuss this.
I gladly will do it.
Well, we would
I
appreciate
would,
that.
I don't, but I haven't been invited to come, but I will be more than glad to come. But you also need to understand my responsibility as the chief fiscal officer, this town board's responsibility to the budget, and to your responsibility to your budget. And your responsibility is to be able to present the budget that includes what will be spent in the year 2020. It's,
We have been tasked with releasing monies that were placed under our auspices, and we have a very different interpretation, and we have a very different view of the future than you do. But once again, I request that you do not present the board as being, outcasts and trying to rob the taxpayers. Nothing could be further from the truth. But I cordially invite you to come and sit down and discuss it publicly or privately, but I refuse to be assaulted because
well, I don't mean
we
to
were-
assault you, and you know what? I will apologize for that. But you have to
Apologies.
understand, thank you. You have to understand something. We're not here to rob Peter. We're not.
Nor are we.
Okay? But the impression that I got from the letter by Ms. Morris and by your board was that we will be damned if we're gonna give you that money. And I've gotta tell you something, that was wrong.
Well, I cannot speak for Mrs. Morris, but I can tell you that libraries are under the same kind of scrutiny in New York, in municipalities, because they have been fiscally responsible for years and told that they were to keep as much of that fund going, because should they lose that funding, there's nothing to sustain the library above and beyond a town budget. And I realize that I've taken up much more time than I expected.
I'm here all night, not a problem. We don't
But
put
these
time
lovely
limits on.
people- But these lovely people should.
But, well, I thank you for getting up.
Thank you.
Just a comment I have. I know with reserve funds, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, there should be a yearly accounting of it and a report made for transparency's sake.
I believe there is.
Bob, all I can say is that I had a brief discussion with the supervisor, and we spoke to the controller's office, and we're better equipped to answer the budgetary questions than I am. So I can't speak to any specific budgetary controls.
Well, Bob, we do, at any time if you ask me, because Eileen can pop it up at any time, what that fund balance is. And she did it for me today. And it's an awful lot of money that's sitting in there. And I think that in a day and age where when you go door to door, you talk to people, and no matter where you go, the big question is your taxes.
Well, I think it's okay, okay, we have X amount of money, and this is what we're gonna use it for. I think that's what we need to hear.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't know what it
I don't
is.
remember ever getting a report, in the years that I've been in about this,
Correct.
the fund balance, so. I think for transparency, maybe you could prepare that in the future.
I will bring it before the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To
Anybody else?
answer your question, yes, capital reserves have to be reviewed annually, but this is not a capital reserve.
Correct.
This is fund balance, those are two very different things.
And just for the record, the library does not have a reserve fund. They don't have a reserve fund, it's all fund balance. Anybody else?
Supervisor, I just wanted to, just kind of weigh in on just the conversation.
I do wanna say that, in the beginning of 2018, when I was the liaison for the library, I do commend the board for, how frugal they were. I know that they count every penny, every nickel, every dime. They're extremely frugal in what they do. And, we wanna acknowledge, again, that part of the board wanting to be as conservative as possible with the budget. I do acknowledge the fact that when those board members get together and they discuss their budgets, they are extremely conscientious of the money that they spend. So, I wanna make it clear that the board members do not perceive the board of the library and the director as being, irresponsible with the money. And we understand that the board's position for the library is to protect the funds to continue keeping that library going. And so it puts the town board at a very difficult position to answer to the taxpayers, of course, but to also maintain the services that we provide for the town. So I do want to make that statement that we do appreciate the board, the library, and the work that you do, and how conscientious you guys are in making sure that you're not spending more than what you need to, and being frugal with what you have, and not being excessive in what you do.
Anybody else? Thank you, Jackie. That's it? Okay, let's go to, get the business of the town done with. I need a motion and a second, to accept the minutes of the 10/17/2019, minutes.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Abstract number 20, Desiree, 21, I'm sorry, Desiree, please.
It contains vouchers 2019-1800 to 2019-1909. The total is $481,324.31.
I'll make a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Budget modifications, Desiree, please.
There are a few this evening. To the Parks Department, increasing A2409 community center activities by $1480, and increasing 7110.429 special programs by $1480. General fund increasing 9060.801 HRA and VP by $19,845, and decreasing A 9060.800 health insurance by $19,845. Police Department increasing B 9060.801 HRA and VP by $7,950, and decreasing B 9060.800 health insurance by $7,950. Refuse Department increasing SR 599 appropriate fund balance by $1,156, SM 9060, it's SR 9060.801 HRA MVP by $4,600, and decreasing SR 9060.800 health insurance by $3,444. Animal control increasing A 3510.469 food supplies by $520, and decreasing A 3510.480 vaccinations by $520. Parks Department increasing A 7110.103 parks attendance by $4,000, and decreasing A 7110.100 parks personnel service by $4,000. The last one is the Police Department by increasing B 3120.422 dry cleaning by $1,450, B 3120.440 tasers by $10,000, B 2212 Monroe Woodbury reimbursement for part-time SROs by $11,450.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, on to new business. We will be appointing, I need a motion to appoint Susan Spectry as a real property data collector from full-time reduced hours up to 35 hours per week at the same current pay rate effective 11/11/2019. I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll be appointing Anne Mary Camp. She's been a temporary library clerk, and she will continue to be a library clerk. The difference is she will no longer be a temp. She'll be part-time up to 19 hours at a new pay rate of $17.46 per hour, effective 11/11/2019. I need a motion and a second.
I'll
Right.
second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Now, I know that in the agenda, it says under 19 hours, that was a typo, it should have been up to 19 hours. I need the acceptance, resignation, with regrets from Gail A. Naugel, Secretary of the Board of Assessment Reviews, effective October 24, 2019.
Motion.
Please,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need authorization for the supervisor to sign an IMA between the town of Woodbury and the city of Newburgh Police Department Tactical Team Cooperation. If I'm not mistaken, this is the exact same one we did 5 years ago?
It is the same,
That was my
Okay.
question, I saw a 6-year contract, that's why it's the same, right?
Yes.
and it's the same exact contract that was previously.
So I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we need to advertise the public hearing to repeal the 2% cap. Did you have that number for me? What we're gonna cap that? Okay, the town of Woodbury is under the cap of, by $524,630. And I thank the board, and Lorelei, for the work on this year's budget, and being able to lower taxes as well as staying ourselves way under cap. I need to authorize the supervisor to approve contract work to the Hudson Valley Wildlife Nuisance Control.
Frank, did you wanna schedule the public hearing?
That would be nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would probably be important.
Just saying. I don't mean to correct you, but
Do you need a motion or do you just?
we do need a motion to adopt the
December,
resolution.
what's the first in December? Oh, no, I mean November, what's the next
Would you like
one?
me to do the resolution, because
21st?
it includes the
Yeah.
secret action also?
Oh, okay, I forgot the secret,
Joe's very big on secret.
I know. He gets paid by the minute in the secret.
The word, yeah.
Will be paid by the acronym.
There you go. So whereas the town board wishes to set a time and place for a public hearing to consider introductory local law 2 of 2019 entitled repealing of local law 1 of 2019. And whereas the town board hereby determines that it will be the lead agency with respect to the review of proposed local law in accord with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is what SECR stands for, in case you don't remember.
That's an acronym.
That's an acronym. Cha-ching. Part 617 of the regulations implementing SECR, since there are no other agencies that have the authority to approve the project. And whereas the town board hereby preliminary classifies the action as an unlisted action under SECR. Now therefore, let it be hereby resolved that the public hearing shall be held by the town board in order to receive comments and suggestions regarding the proposed local law and to review any potential adverse environmental impacts of the proposed local law on November 21st, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. in the meeting room located at 615 Route 32 in the lower level in Highland Mills. And it is further resolved that the office of the town clerk, that's me, is authorized and directed to cause public notice of said hearing to be given as provided by law. You can
Thank you.
laugh.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion and a second.
I'll motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now I need to authorize the supervisor to approve a contract work between Hudson Valley Wildlife Nuisance Control for the removal of beavers near Park Avenue in Highland Mills, New York. The cost is $350 for each beaver removed. I think there's about 4 of them there, I think it's stated. Yeah, that's it. I need a motion and a second. I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
It was discussed earlier, and I just wanna emphasize that, is there any way we could get removed from the contract that lethal force could not be used?
I really don't know. Joe? I mean, I don't know how else you're going to do what needs to be done, but
I think the previous guy did the same thing.
yes. Yeah, this was just 3 months ago, or less. You know, they're big animals.
We're talking about the beavers,
Yeah.
They're big.
and this is done through a state permit?
Yes.
State issued permit?
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna have, you can certainly ask, but I mean, it's really gonna be up to whether the DEC regulations are as to how.
Correct.
So it's gonna fall under the DEC no matter what.
Correct. Yes, it's their permit. You okay?
Just didn't wanna say anything, I don't know if they killed it, unfortunately. But, you know,
I know,
basically saying, that's one thing, if it's written in their contract, we don't have to have it in that contract, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know how else they do it, Michael, to be honest with you. I don't know if when they trap it, it kills them. I'm really not sure how to process it. That's why we give it out, and that's why Pam won't do it, so. Are you okay? Not okay, we don't, should we go on? No, we have not, she doesn't have a license. You have to have a special permit, and there are a lot of regulations that go with this. So I need a motion, I think we got a second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we need to approve the Gatsby proposal agreement for the year 2019 records. I will make that motion, do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, we have an added item, I'm sorry, we did go out to bid for the construction of the new pool, and that has been canceled, so I just need a motion and a second. Oh, I don't need
Just
it,
for the record.
just for the record,
Historical purposes.
that for historical preservation, in case we get 12, 20 years from now, if we have done this, and, that we will not, that we have pulled back the bids for the pool. Not that we got any in, but we pulled them back. And the last is to authorize the supervisor.
Did you need a motion?
No, we just needed to put it on record. Now, the last item is to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract for a special counsel for workman's comp case that we have coming up, with the approval or the recommendation from our attorney, Joe McKay's office. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Did you want to say something, Joe?
Well, just for the, I know, I thought maybe we might talk about this in the campaign session, but just in a summary fashion. The town recently had an adverse ruling against it in a workers' compensation case. The real concern I have is it appears that the representative that was supposed to appear and defend the town at the hearing didn't show. And the action was taken, a judgment was issued, and a decision was issued against the town, essentially on default. I have been reaching out to that representative for about a week now. I've become very concerned, because I don't feel that I'm getting straight responses from that representative. And what I'm recommending that the town board do is to hire an attorney who specializes in defending these workers' comp cases, because the statute of limitations, the town may only have 30 days to put in some appeal paperwork here, and more than a week is going by already. So my firm has been looking, with a final recommendation, we've been looking at the qualifications of some of these workers' comp attorneys, specifically those that defend these types of workers' comp claims. We will make a recommendation to the town So tonight, what we're asking is that you just, authorize the supervisor to sign a retainer agreement with that law firm, so we can get them on board as soon as possible.
Joe, since there's a time frame in this, is your firm going to contact the courts and at least start it so that we don't, because I'd hate to see someone, we retain someone and it's already too late. So is there something that we can put in to try to do something with the case?
We can ultimately file a notice of appeal.
Right, that's what
Right. The concern I have is the internal administrative process of the workers' compensation board. I'm not, based upon the paperwork that we've received, I can't be 100% confident in what the next appeal timeframe is. That's why I've spoken to several of the attorneys in our office, we feel the same way, That's why we feel it's important to get special counsel right away. They may simply, once we retain them, maybe they will just give us the information on the phone, maybe as simple as just simply filing the administrative form, to hold the decision in abeyance. But that's what we want to get from that specialized attorney.
Joe, I have a question. How successful typically, with regards to if you're dealing with workers' comp and the fact that our representatives didn't show, how successful do you think pursuing this, how successful do you think it will be? Because I've been in these before, personally, and typically the workers' comp tends to side on the side of the employee. And so my concern is that we go into this and it's a waste of money because they're gonna see us as being negligent, as not showing up in the first place. And so they would just automatically rule in the side of the employee.
Well, I share your concern. There are two parts of this. First, we need somebody with specialized knowledge to try to get essentially a stay or appeal of the decision that was just made. The second issue, which is not the immediate issue, that's the immediate issue. The second issue is whether or not there's been a breach of contract or negligence on the part of the company that was supposed to protect the town's interests. I'll get to that later. Certainly that's an issue that we will address. But if we can handle this appropriately, we may not need to reach that issue.
Okay, I just buried my agenda somewhere. Public comment, town board comment. Jackie?
Yes. So I would like to congratulate the new elected officials of both the town board and the village board. I'm very hopeful that this upcoming year that we will have productive and fruitful discussions about our beautiful town of Woodbury. The second is I would like to just update on some old business in regards to the pool. I have been in communication with the commissioners of the Parks Department. They have received an updated response from the pool engineer, John, in reference to concerns that they had, that they presented at the informational hearing that we hosted. Once I have received a date from the commissioners, I'm still waiting for that. I put that in probably about a week and a half ago. Once I get a date from them, we will meet with them. They have requested to meet with us for a final discussion before we go to a work session where we invite the public. So once I get that from them, we would be looking at providing the public with the 4 options of the pool. In addition, the cost matrix, which would be the cost for each pool, the initial one being of no increase in taxes, and then of course progressive increases based on the size of the pool. In addition to that, the response from the engineer to the questions and concerns that were presented at the informational hearing, and a timeline as to when we project the pool could be constructed once, the pool could be constructed once we have voted. We had the public vote on those. So, we would have a timeline of those dates and what that would entail, and then, when construction can commence and when we're hoping to have completion. So, just wanted to update the public on that, and that was it.
Can I ask a question about that? I know the board was thinking sometime in the spring to hopefully hold the special election. I don't know if it's possible, but there is an election planned by this, I guess, the country, the last Tuesday in April for a presidential primary.
Yeah, but that's just the president. We're talking about the pool.
But it would be more cost effective if you were permitted to have a proposition on that ballot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that is permitted because it's a presidential election rather than a local kind of thing. And I don't know if propositions are allowed on primary ballots, so perhaps maybe your bond
should reach out.
Reach out to the election.
The village election was just held Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll have to get in touch with the Board of Elections.
But just a suggestion, if it
Yes.
could save money,
You're right, you're right.
But I don't know if primaries are allowed to have propositions.
I usually, something like this, they don't allow during a regular election, so. But we'll check into it, yes.
Right.
You're right.
Okay. Just wanna personally say congratulations to all the winners. But I wanna say thank you to all the residents and if you ran in this election, I'd personally say thank you because that means you care. You care about the community, you care about what's going on, and you paid attention. You went out and you spoke to the residents, and you're finding out what's going on in the community. And I'm hoping that more and more people come out and run and take an interest in this, in our community, because every month there's something different that happens in this town or in our village board meeting that just, it holds for like, it goes all over Facebook and it goes all over the community, and then next month there's something else. And I just wish that more and more people could just pay attention to what goes on, how hard the village board and the town board does work. There's a lot of things that go on throughout the day that not many people see what we do. And I'm happy that more people came out and ran. And I just want to say congratulations, and I hope more people come out to the meetings, pay attention to what goes on. And to the department heads that work so hard, the residents should see that. They should see how hard you work. Because we know, but the people don't know. So I just, again, wish all the people that come back, now that you're gonna be, they're all new. Everybody's new except in, I think, well, the village has new as well. So I wish them all good luck, and that's pretty much it. And congratulations.
Thank you. Anything you wanna say, Ravon? Okay.
Appreciate just having energy of all the department heads and everybody's hard work and working with me and being so kind, considerate, respectful. I mean, it's just a wonderful group of people to work with. So I just thank you for helping me with the job I've been trusted to do. So thank you, everybody.
Councilman Hunter?
I'd like to say thank you to all the village and town winners for the trustees and the councilmen. And to those who didn't get in, it's great that you came out and put in the effort to run. You gave people a choice, and you gave people a lot to talk about. And thank you for putting yourself out there like that. It's not easy being under the microscope and having the light shine on you like that. And also thank you to Gail Noble for all the years that she put in for the town and the village for the, I think she was planning board secretary for a while. And happy trails to you, Gail.
Desiree?
I just want to thank everybody that participated in the rain-free trunk or treat that we held on Halloween. I know we got some criticism for not canceling it, and we were one of the few in the area that did not, and we benefited from such lack of cancellation. And it was from 6 to 8 at the Central Valley, Smith Clove Elementary School parking lot. And my husband and I personally handed out, did not let kids just take, we handed out over 500 packets of candy packets that we put together. We were doing the WCA, which is the Woodbury Community Association's Trump, huh? You got a rock. Well, I'm sorry, Charlie Brown. And a lot of us ran out of candy or chips or whatever. The food trucks were a huge success. We did have the empanada gentleman as well as the mac and cheese gentleman, so that was a great addition. Thanks to the Central Valley and Highland Mills Fire Company for bringing the truck and shining the light down the walkway. And I think next year we're gonna talk about possibly moving it to the middle school parking lot. So it'll be more room and then we think that they have better lighting, so. But it is Halloween, it's supposed to be dark, not bright and fun. Of course, next year it's on a Saturday, so that will be possibly some changes as well. So that's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're good,
Are you sure you don't?
I'm positive.
Joey says I'm done.
Okay. Joey, anything to say? Lieutenant?
Yeah. I know, right? Just a little oil on the hips.
I'm here for a reason.
I want to first recognize Councilman Ramon, who's not here, and Mike Lessick on your tenures over. Thank you for a great couple of years. You guys worked very diligent with us and accomplished a lot of things, and were able to get done through you, so thank you. Congratulations to the town board. Frank, congratulations.
Thank
And to Tom, and we're still waiting to hear whoever else, but looking forward to working with you guys again, and looking forward to another 2 good years. The one thing I do have is, I don't know if you guys have seen on Facebook, on our posts, some of the police officers in our department are currently growing beards. It's called No Shave November. We do it every year. The idea behind it is we grow the beards to bring an awareness to cancer. And we always donate the money to a local family who's either been diagnosed with cancer or has recently passed. So we are raising money as a PDA. If anybody in the public would like to donate to a cause, we usually give the money to the family that we decided as a PDA by the end of November to try to help their holiday just to be a little bit better than what it is. The public can feel free to drop a check off to the Woodbury Police Department. In your little memo there, you can put No Shave November and give it to either P.O. Task or P.O. Korea. And as we say, we're going to let it grow best we can, and hopefully we can make somebody's holiday a little bit easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Maria? Beautification? Nothing?
We'll be decorating in the next couple of weeks for the holidays. We got a lot of projects on board before the end of the year.
For those who couldn't hear her, she is putting out a lot of Christmas stuff in the holidays.
No, not Christmas.
No, holidays,
Holidays.
sorry. The holiday stuff, and they'll be working on that pretty soon. So, thank you, Maria.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, couple things. I want to congratulate the mayor-elect, Tim Egan. I did reach out to him and congratulated him. I did ask him about a week or so to get together and to let's discuss issues between the town and the village, so that and he was very amicable to it, which is good. And I look forward to achieving a lot of things with the village in the next few years. I think that it's time that we really do get together and work together as a group. I want to congratulate I guess CJ Graziano and Tara. Yeah, I didn't know her last name, but all right, for winning trustees. I look forward to Mr. Tom Burke as a councilman elect, highest vote getter out there. Good job. And whoever's going to be the third person, we don't know yet. So That's, I think it's 11 or 12 vote difference with under 50 absentee ballots. So I look forward to another 2 years serving the town of Woodbury. It's something that I've always enjoyed. It's gonna be my 15th and 16th year, and I look forward to it. So, want to wish everybody, no, we're gonna see you before Thanksgiving, so I'm not gonna wish you a happy Thanksgiving yet. Everybody drive home, be safe, and be careful in the morning. It is still dark, and in the evenings it gets dark early. I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Good evening.